This is the Thayer Podcast for Monday, September 23rd, 2024. A while back, a dear friend and I were talking about how God and Satan are doing serious battle over our souls right now. The Ten Commandments might be the rules for that battle. The American public's rules for battle are found under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Churches and religious organizations are absolutely prohibited from directly or indirectly participating or intervening in any political campaign for or against any candidate for elective public office. However, nonpartisan voter education activities like public forums and publishing voter education guides are not prohibited. Nonpartisan activities intended to encourage people to participate in the electoral process, such as voter registration and get out the vote drives, are not prohibited political campaign activity. The Village Bible Church published a piece on political participation recently. Its conclusion got my attention. Living in such political times demands us to walk wisely when it comes to the roles politics play in church. The ministry of the gospel should be our greatest focus, and we are obligated to participate in the spread of pure message of the good news of Christ. We believe it is wise for churches to refrain from partisan politics in order to further the ministry of the gospel that they have been specifically called to advance. The unintended consequences of political activism are too great to bear. In June of 2018, the Archbishop of Canterbury wrote in the Huffington Post that Jesus Christ was never party political. No wing of politics, left or right, can claim God as being on its side. But Jesus was highly political. He told the rich that unlike the poor who were blessed, they would face woes. He criticized the king as a fox. He spoke harsh words to leaders of the nations when they were uncaring of the needy. He did this because God cares for those in need and expects those who claim to act in His name to do the same. That means action and words. Even the Pope has waded into today's political situation. Earlier this month, the Associated Press reported that Pope Francis had slammed both U.S. presidential candidates for what he called anti-life policies on abortion and migration. The Pope said migration is a right described in Scripture, and that anyone who does not follow the biblical call to welcome the stranger is committing a grave sin. He was also blunt in speaking about abortion. To have an abortion is to kill a human being. You may like the word or not, but it's killing. We have to see this clearly. Asked what voters should do at the polls, he recalled the civic duty to vote. One should vote and choose the lesser evil, he said. Who is the lesser evil, the woman or man? I don't know. Does a religious leader who is significantly more liberal or conservative than his congregation bring their views more in line with his? Or are churches more like markets where congregants attend a place of worship that best reflects their worldview? Eaton Hirsch, a former political scientist at Yale, claims that the data suggests both can be true. Clergy influence the views of their congregants, but they also represent the communities where they serve. They're like members of Congress, he said. They have constituents, but they're also expected to lead. The thing I find missing from our political environment right now is church activism to encourage entire congregations to turn out to vote. The preachers at La Mesa, California's Skyline Church, the one my friend and I attend, are careful not to cross the 501c3 line. But at the same time, they're adamant about churchgoers participating in the political process. They're not afraid to call out the evil that exists because of ill-advised politicians. Sex education in kindergarten might be one example. The lawful advance of foul language into every nook and cranny of society might be another. Can our religious leaders do more to save our hides from evil? I don't know. What I do know is if we can't convince believers to vote God back into America, we're going to lose it to Satan himself. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Semper Fi.